richest guy in the world and has a vagina larger than the blue whale? You guessed it, Elon Musk. Yeah, we're starting with the yellow dollar sign today. See, I like to live YouTube like it's Russian roulette, ladies and gentlemen. You know, whether it pays out, whether it doesn't matter, okay? We're here for the fun times, the laughs, the gaming, the Linux, the virtual machines, so on and so forth. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, why are we talking about Elon Musk Asmongold today? Well, it's because we've got some rather interesting gamer news to cover. Now, if you have ever played video games competitively, you know that video game competitions are no joke, okay? When it comes to video game, achievements, things like speedruns, things like getting the fastest nuke on Modern Warfare 2. If you lie about these strats, if you lie about these achievements, if you lie about any of these, you will be ostracized from the community and sent to the gallows. Obviously nothing that seriously, but yeah, we kind of take it seriously as gamers, okay? These are achievements. We want to make sure that the people who are earning the cred actually have earned the cred, and they're not just posing around. Now, obviously, in this situation, Elon Musk has sort of been brought down into a pretty rather insane expose. Now, the actual reason why this got brought up with Elon Musk is about a couple days ago, there was a video released by a creator known as Quinn. Elon Musk is lying about being good at video games. Now, this ended up getting nearly 1 million views, and the reason it got 1 million views was Quinn did an excellent job digging into Elon Musk's Path of Exile 2 account and realizing that there's a very high chance this dude paid for the access. This guy paid for his position. Now, Elon's one of those guys where he runs multiple large companies and he basically is operating Twitter on a daily basis, sitting in spaces, tweeting out nonstop. And in amongst all of that, he can find time to play video games at a high level like Path of Exile 2. Now, to remind you, there is 24 hours in a human day. If Elon Musk is spending so much time where he's getting to the top of the leaderboards, one has to ask, is this guy actually doing any work at Tesla or SpaceX or Twitter, X, whatever? So anyways, he comes off and basically, you know, if you look up some of older Elon interviews, he'll talk about how much of a gamer he is.
Games. At one point I was, maybe one of the best Quake players in the world.
You're actually like a world-class, incredible video game player.
Yeah.
One of the best Quake players. You know, I want to take Elon on a one-on-one Instagib at this point, okay? Let's try that out. I might be an Unreal Tournament player, but I think I can take on the world's richest man on some Quake. Anyways, to go into further over here, one of the things that, again, Quinn looked into was the Path of Exile leaderboards. Now, Path of Exile is a very recently released ARPG game. Similar to Diablo, you basically run around, kill a whole bunch of hordes, constantly get new loot, engage, upgrade your character, and you basically level up, and go in harder and harder runs, okay? It's one of those games where people compete on something known as a ladder. So this is the hardcore ladder where people are constantly gaining experience points to level their characters up. Now, one of the highest ranking players right now is one known as Naxon, who is level 98 with, I shit you not, 3.8 billion points of experience. Remember, the higher you go in levels for Path of Exiles, the more experience you need. So this is literally a point where people who played this game are putting in hours upon hours of time. You can go to actual Path of Exile 2 streamers on Twitch. You can click on effectively any one of these, like this is Dat Mods. This guy is also grinding hardcore SSF endgame. So if you actually go to his channel here real quick and you just look at how this guy streams pretty much on a daily basis, you will find out this guy is putting in like 10 hours, 10 hours, 10 hours, 10 hours, and that's not even as much time as you need. There are players who are straight up playing 20, sometimes the broadcast can go up to like 40 hours. You basically have to play Path of Exile 2 every waking hour of your fucking life if you want to reach anywhere at the top echelons of these actual leaderboards. So at rank number 30 exists an account known as Random9 number 2886. And this is Elon's account, also at level 97. Now the reason why I said there's 24 hours in a fucking day is what is this guy doing if all he does is play Path of Exile 2? Are you operating SpaceX? Are you operating Tesla? There were moments where this guy was apparently playing Path of Exile while arguing with government leaders and people on Twitter Spaces. It's fucking insane. This guy is apparently either a god gamer or a complete fucking charlatan. So again, it's not the amount of hours somebody has played, it's also how good are they when it comes to the video game. Now, at this moment in time, one of the interesting things that people did after they started to question how this account actually belonged to Elon was, in order to see if this guy actually knew what he was talking about, they looked up old broadcasts. Now, Elon Musk streams on X, so he tests live streaming by playing Path of Exile, and it used to be games like Diablo 4, but I'll get to a bit of the gaming history as well, too. This video is going to be a little bit on the lengthy side, but they started looking into how this guy plays, and when he moves his map around, for instance, you'll see that normally this is the endgame map screen for Path of Exile, so all these points, when you want to start up a new Waystone, when you want to start up new runs or whatever, you need to be able to navigate this really quickly. When you play an MMO game for like hours on end, you should effectively be basically going like Jedi mode, point-to-point clicking, and just optimizing this. You know, I play a lot of Grand Theft Auto Online, and I can tell you right now, I can navigate through every single menu in that game within seconds, no matter what. Once you have that much game time, all these things become second nature. The way that Elon is moving is literally at the pace of a fucking snail. And it kind of shows you that maybe this is just one of many red flags you have to watch out for. So people started to look at how he was playing, and it wasn't exactly the most top-tier gameplay. Now, I'll leave it to Quinn and a few of the other Path of Exile people who have analyzed his gameplay, because there were moments where he wasn't even able to identify or properly explain why some items in his build were actually the best possible items you could have at any moment. This guy had no idea how his allegedly paid-for account even operated. Now again, there's no code red, debt to rights proof that this account is entirely bought for. But I would say on a personal level, if you had to put my entire net worth, my life on the line, okay, like you had to put a gun to my head and ask me, do I think Elon paid for this account or he naturally played it himself? I would say that he most likely paid for this account on a personal belief, okay? I'm not trying to catch no defamation charges from somebody as petty as Elon Musk. And when I talk about pettiness, that brings us to the next stage in the story.
No way he played that account. Like, I'm sorry. I think he bought the account or somebody played it for.
Dude, I agree. I absolutely agree. I get it, Zach. Zach saying that is basically like somebody saying the earth is fucking round, all right? Like at some point when you actually look at how much effort he put into it, it doesn't scream, it actually being real. For example, on a separate game, one that I have more of a connection to, something like Rainbow Six Siege. Now, this is my account on Rainbow Six Siege, Power Bottom Dad. You can see the last game I played was September 17th. I tried getting back into the game, just didn't get into it. They've changed a lot of stuff that, not even relevant to this video. But you can see that my highest actual peak was Platinum 3. Now, if all of a sudden I had basically recorded a video or started streaming on an account that was champion level, which is the highest level in the game, anybody could see me playing Rainbow Six and realize Muda doesn't know how to play at that champion level. He's not checking the rooms right. He's not picking the right operators for the job. He doesn't have the required map knowledge. Anybody can instantly identify if somebody is a fraud based on anything, which is why buying an account and like streaming with it is equivalent to like streaming with hacks. It's just so fucking obvious for anybody watching that, why would you even do it? It's like, why even go after such easily discreditable stuff, right? Instead of like owning up and going, yeah, I made a mistake, he instead doubles down and just starts lashing out and crashing on the community. So Elon says, Asman behaves like a maverick independent, but in reality he has to ask his boss for permission before he can do anything. He is not his own man. So I was like, oh, wait, what? What do you mean he has to ask a boss? What did that even come out to? Well, Elon decides to, by the way, violate the terms of service on X and leak private DMs and say, I'm going to see if my editors might want to make a second account for it even. Sure. Who are these mysterious editors? Two guys. They basically run the entire YouTube account. So basically any content I post is edited or uploaded by them, and they just get a cut of the ad revenue. So Elon goes, interesting. I don't know how an editor that you employ to cut content and splice it onto your YouTube channel counts as your boss. Like, it's a pretty standard practice on the internet, you know? But it kind of goes back to the 24-hour thing. I don't have editors on my channel. Everything here is like my own thing. I use YouTube as a hobby. This is not a job for me, okay? Like, I work a regular job every day. I go to my office, I work, I come home, I cut together the video that I recorded the night, you know, or 2 nights or whatever before, and I post that on the internet. It is a therapeutic, fun thing for me. So that's why when I get demonetized or a video doesn't hit viewer-wise, like, you know, maybe it's a 10 out of 10, doesn't bang in the algorithm as much, it doesn't really affect me, okay? I just enjoy what I do. And it makes me wonder, like, how somebody like Elon is able to, again, do time management. I require a high degree of time management to do all of this. To do a job, to live and deal with my family, to do YouTube requires me to pretty much regiment my time out at a very strict level. How is somebody who is just sitting down allegedly playing Path of Exile 2 for like fucking 20 hours a day, managing 2 large companies, and then somehow trying to fit his way in to helping run the US government down the road? It's fucking insane. And the more and more you start to look at Elon, the more and more these cracks start going through. And it's funny too, like, down the road, it's crazy that, like, Elon Musk's biggest ball washer jumps in, Ian Miles wrong, and he goes, you shouldn't have to justify yourself to these people, but it's nice that you've got receipts to prove your gaming credentials, a receipt being that he apparently did, like, a world record Diablo run. Ian Miles Chong is a definition of the greatest dick sucker that I've ever seen. I have never seen a human being suck a cock so fucking good as this man. This guy is the most American wannabe grifter. He's never even set foot in the country. How hard is it to fucking buy a plane ticket to the United fucking States of America and at least experience the country you jerk off so much, okay? Like, goddamn, insane. This guy is the biggest grifter I could imagine. And to give you an idea, Elon responds, I'm on hundreds of streams on YouTube, Twitch, playing live with the world's best players. No other way to say this, while Asmon is good at caustic commentary and making fun of people, he's just not good at video games. To which, thank God, Twitter has community notes because they dug up every fucking achievement Asmon had. You know, I may not agree with everything Asmongold says, but it's hilarious that this grifting shithead is saying, like, oh, this other gamer is not as legit as me. Bro, your account is clearly botted, okay? I'm sorry to say, it's very clearly botted. Like, it is what it is. At least Asmon in this situation understands gaming concepts and can play a video game at a relatively decent level, okay? I think recently he'd like 100%ed on hard all of like Metaphor ReFantazio. Like, the guy understands video games. Elon Musk likes to jump on the trendy video games and pretend to be the top tier player. You know, like years ago when like the Cybertruck was being revealed and he was showing like Cyberpunk running in a Tesla, I would love to ask him like what the basic plot points of Cyberpunk 2077 is, because I don't even think this dumb fuck has made it past the actual start screen, to be honest with you. You know, and most people probably have realized too, like, Elon Musk is just a pretty dog shit player in most games too. Like, when I talk about trendy games, even with games like Elden Ring, which most people jump into, like, it's a hard game from FromSoft, I have several hours in this game. I actually platinumed Elden Ring, like, I want to say a week within its release, around a week. And I played the game nonstop. I understand all of its concepts. I understand what to do. I did like new game pluses. I was in this game. I just shadowed the Earth Tree like as soon as it dropped. Game was like consuming my life. So, you know, Elon tweets out his build, equipped load will be lower if fast roll is needed. And he shows a build where he doesn't even like properly like figure out what items that should be placed within it. Like, he doesn't really have the item set up properly. Like, he doesn't really have any thought put into his build. You look at his stats, and it just doesn't seem like somebody who gives a shit about a video game. He jumps in, tours into this, doesn't really give a crap, wants to get all the praises, but he plays like an actual turbo tard. It's insane. I love this one too, where it's like fucking, you know, one guy's like, list of games I've not played, all the Grand Theft Autos, right? Elon's like, tried, but I don't like doing crime. GTA 5 required shooting police officers in the opening scene. Just couldn't do it. You know what I said? The man had a bigger vagina than the blue whale? This is what I'm talking about. Bro, how are you gonna buy a game called Grand Theft Auto, put it into your system, and not expect to shoot a cop? It's a video game, bro. I wonder, you want to give this guy a heart attack at 50? Put up No Russian in Modern Warfare 2. See if he can get through shooting up an entire airport. And of course, resident ball washer comes in and goes, I'm glad shooting cops in Cyberpunk 2077 is completely optional. Never finish GTA 5. Really? And then people dug up that he wrote like 255 articles covering GTA 5. And again, how to evade police in the game single player mode. So yeah, again, when it comes to these lying grifters, okay, it's very easy to pick them apart. Like, I love video games. I genuinely have never jumped in and made videos, and I'm probably going to make a couple more videos like this about some rather unsavory figures in this space, where, again, it's people who jump into the world of gaming. They have no idea what gaming really is. They just use it as a front for their culture war, and they really just take a shit on the discussion of video games in general, right? They always bring up like woke politics, crazy, stupid shit. They never are able to just properly decipher or discuss these things. It's just used as a medium for them to have their culture war battles. Insane shit, okay? But again, to go back to old Asman here, Asman, after a spat, apparently seemingly had his checkmark removed, which doesn't really shock me. Like, I remember like even a couple like weeks ago, there were like people like highly like super right-wing accounts that like got into a discussion with H-1B visas about, you know, with Elon Musk. And all of a sudden, Elon Musk was like, I love H-1B visas. I love hiring people for indentured servitude. And, you know, all the right-wing people were like, we keep the jobs here. You know, it was a whole argument. And of course, anybody who disagreed with Elon suddenly were like, oh, my payouts don't really seem to be as high as they used to. Or, ooh, X is finally cracking down on my obvious bigoted speech. Yeah, Elon just didn't like you anymore, okay? Simple as that. See, this guy, when you trust him for free speech, it's hilarious because for him, free speech only matters is as long as you're like Ian Miles Chong on both your knees without any knee pads on, sucking this dude off, licking the balls, kissing the gooch, all day, every day. It's insanity, okay? That's not free speech. That's you wanting to be the cool kid in class all the time, even though you're the fucking court jester. Now, at the end of all of this, ladies and gentlemen, to go further into this, it started off as like a little gaming spat, but honestly, the more and more you look into like Elon Musk, it's not just the gaming that really hits you. One of the things that kind of blew me away from like, you know, just basically being like, I think Elon's a cool guy, is as somebody who is a computer, engineer, somebody who understands computer code, for instance, hearing Elon talk about computers and anything code related is actually mind-bogglingly stupid. So this is like 2 years ago when Twitter was like first purchased, and he was basically being grilled about what was wrong with Twitter's code, what was wrong with Twitter's stack. Listen to this one.
I think, frankly, if you want to have a really high velocity of features, I think we'll just need to do a total rewrite of the whole thing.
Wait, seriously, a total rewrite. That's your prediction for velocity.
And that's a really good response, actually. It's like, you want to totally rewrite the code? Like, I mean, what kind of junior coding response is that? What is wrong with the code? Exactly like pointed out. And this is where Elon was basically grilled just a tad, and it made him go absolutely apeshit.
Yeah.
Well, when you say a total rewrite, do you mean starting with the skeleton, or a bunch of engineers sit down with a whiteboard and say, what is Twitter? Revolution or reform?
I just mean like literally like there's like you could either try to amend the crazy stack that exists, or rewrite it.
But when you say crazy stack, what do you mean? Like, break it down.
Have you seen George's like diagram?
No. I mean, like, what do you mean by crazy? No, seriously. Come on, buddy. Come on.
Who are you?
What do you mean? Who am I? I don't know. You gave me the fucking mic. I got no.
I didn't give you the mic.
Whoa! I'm doing the mic, and let's keep it civil in my space.
I mean, yeah.
Like what? No, man. You're in charge of the servers and the programming, whatever. Like, what is the stack?
Keep things technical in my space, please.
Take me from top to bottom. What does the stack look like right now? What's so crazy about it? What's so abnormal about this stack versus every other large-scale system on the planet, buddy? Come on, give it to me.
All right. So first off,
amazing. Wow,
Wait.
you're a jackass.
Okay.
Wow, you're a jackass. Now that escalated pretty quickly. And to give you an idea, if you ever worked in like any job computer programming related, you probably have like really went through some PTSD the last like 30 seconds because Elon sounds like any boss that will just like hear the trendy buzzword like, oh, a stack. Ooh, something's wrong with that old stack. We got to fix the stack. Now I'm going to give you guys a crash course on what a programming or like any stack really is. So for instance, one of the most common stacks available is something known as LAMP, which stands for a set of programs, a set of software you need to, for example, LAMP, the actual stack we're going to discuss here, is designed for building websites and web applications and so on and so forth. Okay, a pretty massive part of the internet, something all of us interact with on a daily basis. Heck, you're doing it right now. So again, a LAMP stack is L for Linux, okay? You've got A for Apache, which is your web server. You've got M for MySQL for database management, and you've got P for, again, PHP. So these are just stacks. And again, it's different stacks, so you could be working in a place, but generally speaking, there's like a set of stacks that people know. So when you ask somebody, like, what the fuck is wrong with the stack? Like, what aspect of it is wrong? Is there something wrong with Linux? Something wrong with the web server? That's what you hit up with. Elon, because he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, immediately starts lashing out at people, right? And sure, you could argue the other guy he's talking to is condescending, but anybody would be condescending when they're dealing with somebody who is just literally trying to bullshit their way through something that is so evidently simple. And even beyond all of it, one of the things that I found out too was like through a Dogecoin co-creator, right? One of these guys calls Elon a grifter who couldn't even run basic code. And what kind of basic code? Well, according to the co-creator, Palmer, he actually talked about how Elon Musk could not run the script. So Elon reached out to me to get a hold of the script, and it became very apparent quickly that he didn't understand coding as well as he made out. He asked, how do I run this Python script? So again, after I gave him the script, I wasn't a fan of him. He's a grifter. He sells a vision in hopes that he can one day deliver what he's promising, but he doesn't know that. And that's way true if we're talking about things like Tesla full self-driving and the days of the robo-taxi and all of these crazy promises if you've owned a Tesla. A lot of them have still remained completely fucking unmatched. But when it comes to like Python scripts, just to whittle it on back, if this guy cannot, if this is true and he can't even run a Python script, something that you probably learn now in like a 11th grade, like high school, like computer programming class, this guy is just a fucking poser. And that's one of the things, it's one of the reasons why, like, when he was building electric cars, I'm like, cool, he knows his things. And I still believe Elon knows things about electric cars because, yes, Tesla is still, from what I understand, at the top of their game. They're getting more competition, but they're still doing good. Do I think Elon knows about space rockets? Probably not, but he knows how to hire people that know about space rockets, and that's why SpaceX, from my understanding, does pretty well, and that's why they keep winning government contracts, and they've genuinely changed and made space travel more efficient than it used to be. But when it comes to things like programming, that's where, at least as soon as you're jumping into the space and you're looking into this guy and you think, whoa, he's like this crazy smart dude, and you start peeling back some of the BS, it becomes readily apparent you're dealing with an actual grifter, not somebody who is like this crazy tech messiah, or at least whatever he wants to be. Which again is important. Now, if you're a gamer, somebody who Elon is most likely appealing to, because Elon is currently engaged in the most insane culture wars, Elon is using gamers and gaming as a whole in order to push all of his narratives, and it's finally because of this shit like this Path of Exile 2 that people are looking at him and going, yeah, this guy's kind of a fucking idiot. I mean, it should have been pretty evident too, like literally like November of like last year, when like Elon literally was talking about building an AI game company to make games great again, okay? We need a video gamer voting block. Too many game studios are owned by massive corporations. So again, a massive corporation hosted by the richest guy in the world is suddenly also going to start a game company. I mean, how is that any different? XAI is starting a game studio to make games great again. So they're working on building AI to accelerate human scientific discovery, guided by our mission to advance our collective understanding of the universe. Now, at the end of all this video is getting long enough, but a guy who is willing to be so shady and not transparent about, something as simple as video games has at least me genuinely worried about another project that he's working on that is far more serious than video games, petty internet, slap fighting, something known as the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, for anybody that doesn't know, Doge is a basically proposed presidential advisory commission that apparently is designed to trim down the fat or, the budget of the government, right? So the idea of Doge has been linked to Trump's campaign promises to cut federal spending and reduce the size of the government and the size of the federal fiscal deficit. So again, the people who are going to be chairing this is Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, okay? 2 billionaires in the United States. Now again, both of these guys have severe controversies regarding the businesses that they've ran. But when it comes to Elon Musk, Musk said Americans are welcome to bombard him with suggestions for where he should wield his axe. So you can jump into, I guess, live streams and basically decide what to cut, okay? Interesting. Anybody can just have a laissez-faire. You know when people talk about the fall of Rome? This might be it. Anytime the public thinks we are cutting something important or not cutting something wasteful, just let us know, he wrote, adding that all actions of the Department of Government Efficiency will be posted online for maximum transparency. It'd be interesting how a man who gets so much subsidies from the federal government is now going to be in charge of deciding how that federal budget gets spent. But if he's not transparent about his video game nonsense, like something so low risk, something that doesn't even matter in the grand scheme of things, do you as an American trust this guy with being transparent about how he's going to chop up federal spending? Like, it's crazy how we've had billionaires who are basically turning America into a complete oligarchy, like a very transparent oligarchy. Like, just jump in, buy your way into power. If some foreigner came to my country, okay, and just bought his way into my government, or at least into the ear of my leadership, I think that would be a serious cause of concern that I think most people should be raising. But we live in a world where, again, it's all people fighting left versus right. Nobody is really looking at these things from a real, proper, actual, I guess you could say, nuanced perspective. Everyone just needs to be a part of a culture war and fight each other, and that's pretty much what it comes down to. But again, I'm getting way out of the scope of how I started this video. Elon Musk, in my personal opinion, is a lying sack of shit. And at the end of the day, do I think he's some evil guy? Probably not. To be fair, I think when it comes to evil, I look at people like Peter Scully. That guy's evil. Hitler, that guy's fucking hella evil. Okay, there's a lot of people that are evil. Okay, Elon Musk is just somebody that is, he's self-serving. He's somebody who's obviously a billionaire. He only associates with billionaires. He only cares about really enriching himself. And I think this kind of stuff, when it comes to the Path of Exile 2 debacle, and then, of course, as a programmer, when it comes to the whole Twitter debacle, and of course, when it comes to people who actually know rocket technology, comes to the controversies of SpaceX, that veneer is slipping away. And I feel like it has to slip away for people to, get rid of their blinders and actually look at all of these people, not just Elon Musk, with some serious, nuanced understanding. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mudahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like it if you dislike it. I am out.